Over the last 10 weeks, Chris and I have been conducting a survey and interviewing with fellow students on waste practices, sustainability, and education.
The purpose of this research was to look into fellow UCSC students' relationship with sustainability in Santa Cruz County. Here's what we found.
We found that in Santa Cruz County, only certain materials are recyclable. These exclude resin codes 3 through 7. For background, resin codes were created from the Society of the Plastic Industry back in 1988 and are used to identify the polymers found in a plastic item. With this as background, what are UCSC students doing to educate themselves in sustainable waste practices?
Hello, my name is Louisa. I am a part of ESLP and I've been with them for about 3-4 years. And ESLP stands for Education for Sustainable Living Program. It's under the umbrella of EnviroSlug with 2 other sister orgs. I love being a peer educator. It's really important because everyone has knowledge and there's no hierarchies in being a peer educator, and you can learn from each other and also learn more together. Of course, yes, it's challenges because I'm also a student, so I'm also trying to learn from other classes, but this is definitely a highlight of my college career.
Even as a peer educator, Louisa has her own student responsibilities, yet she still teaches others. This connects to our research because we believe as a student it is our responsibility to educate our peers on manipulative tactics such as greenwashing. Greenwashing is the process of conveying a false impression by providing misleading information about how sustainable a system acts. To investigate this, we conducted a survey to investigate the impacts of greenwashing on students committed by the university.
We compiled a series of increasingly difficult questions. First was an introduction question to test for basic sustainable waste knowledge. Second was the resin code on this university-purchased plastic cup. Notoriously, resin codes are very difficult to inform on proper waste bin disposal, so I surveyed students in coffee shops, libraries, etc. to find out how acquainted students were with plastic resin codes. 54% knew what this number stood for, and the other 46% responded incorrect or unsure. Third, when asked about where to properly dispose of this cup, the majority believed this EcoWare cup was recyclable, and of those who chose trash, a majority had previous knowledge on the waste system in the county. This is a clear example of greenwashing's effect on students. In efforts to appear green, the university has misled many students into complacency so students wouldn't further educate themselves and others. However, students are organizing themselves in many different ways in order to challenge this system.
My name is Maya Caminada, and I represent the Climate Coalition on campus that started in about November. Education. I love speaking about education because I think that we should be investing in our students' education in climate crisis and climate change. And so the majority of our students do not take climate education courses. They don't take climate justice courses. Most of them would not know what environmental racism is or any of these other terms, and so we really need to be making all students aware of this crisis. And so that includes really enforcing classes, making this a requirement that all students take a climate science or climate justice course in their 4 years of going here.
Student organizations such as the UCSC Climate Coalition are aware of these lack of education surrounding these topics. The Eco Cup is simply the tip of the iceberg. There are many more environmental inequities that students are not aware of in the university. So what can we do to increase the amount of students attending these environmental classes?
Yes, so this would act as a general education requirement. Right now we have what is called a PE, and so there's a PEE, there's a PEH, and then there's another subgroup as well, and so students just have to take one of the PEs, so it doesn't need to be environmental, and they can completely disregard those environmental classes if they want to. And so that doesn't seem like adequate environmental education for us, and we think that that PE should really turn into a requirement that all students are required to take environmental studies in some aspect, whether that's environmental art or environmental economics or whatever, but yeah.
We found that 52% of students believe themselves to be knowledgeable in sustainable waste practices. However, our previous findings show only 13% of students correctly identified the cup's proper disposal method. Despite this, 80% of students were in support of a climate change general education category. This shows that students that self-identified as educated and uneducated are willing to accept this general education addition. So we are left to ask, what will this GE accomplish?
Yeah, I think that, we all come to college wanting to be prepared and educated for our future. And so this college is really based on the fact that we are giving students hopefully the tools to take into their careers and into their lives. And so graduating without any climate education is not preparing students for their future and is not giving them the adequate tools they need for their careers. And so I think that mandatory environmental justice or science course will prepare them for their future.
Oh my God, that's great.
Is that good?
We talk to students, we talk to ESLP, we talk to UCSC Climate Coalition. We're done talking. We know the university is greenwashing, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We know what we want, and now it's time for us to we talked to ESLP, we talked to UCSC Climate Coalition. We're done talking. We know the university is greenwashing, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We know what we want, and now it's time for us to demand it.